This might just be a good little deck for Players' Cup. It's ADP with Persian. Welcome back, everyone, to more From the Sable Eyes. I'm Mitch, and today we're going to take a look at ADP Zacian again, but this time with a slightly different engine. We are looking at ADP Persian, which has been popping up all over the place on Twitter. I've seen lists from Isaiah Brander, sorry. I've been seeing lists from people like Stefan Ivanov. There's heaps of these kind of lists floating around at the moment, so definitely worth pursuing. I'll chuck a couple of links down below if you want to jump onto Twitter and follow those. Follow me on Twitter, that would be great. Check out the list, play along, like the video, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and we'll take a look at ADP Zacian and what Persian can bring to the party. So this is our ADP Persian list. It's pretty similar to lots of other ADP lists, so we won't go through that side of the deck too much. We'll just talk about how Persian can add to it and show off a couple of games with the Persian and show off how ADP can still work without it. So obviously we use Altered Creation. We have Metal Water costing on this attack, and we take an extra prize and add 30 damage. We've seen that before, and obviously paired up with Zacian V. It's one of the best attackers in the game, able to be accelerated to with Metal Saucer. But this deck isn't like some of the ADP lists that you're probably seeing in your Players' Cup run. It's not got 4 Crushing Hammer in it. It hasn't got 4 Pokemon Catcher in it. None of those coin flip cards. Instead, this deck takes a slightly less risky approach, a slower approach, saying ultimately it doesn't matter how many knockouts your opponent takes as long as you take 2 before they do. So instead of being really, really risky in the early game, try and set up a Persian-GX. It has this attack called, this ability, Catwalk. Once during a turn before you attack, if one of your Pokemon GX or EX has been knocked out, and this was printed way a long time ago in Unbroken Bonds when EX Pokemon was still relevant, if one of your Pokemon GX or EX is knocked out in your opponent's last turn, you can search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them into your hand. And that is a really potent attack, or ability. I keep saying attack. It's a really potent ability, especially in a deck like this, where really all you need are a couple of cards and you are away. Let me throw out a couple of scenarios for you. I've GX'd, got a metal, got a water energy, I've got the Altered Creation off, and then my opponent comes in with something like an Eternatus and knocks my ADP out before I can use Ultimate Ray. Against some decks, that can be absolutely catastrophic. Ultimate Ray required to power up Zacian V, and if I can't get that off whilst taking 2 prizes, then that's going to be a big problem. 3 prizes even better. But let's just say that that's happened. I've got maybe an energy on a Zacian from an Intrepid Sword or something like that. What I can do is I can deal with the fact that ADP has been knocked out by using Persian's ability, grab myself Metal Saucer, grab myself the missing piece that I need to take a knockout on my opponent's attacker or on one of my opponent's bench Pokemon, and go from there. It's like I haven't missed a beat. So if my ADP gets knocked out early, I can potentially come back from that. Similarly, sometimes decks have to knock ADP out and then go through 2 Zacians to win the game. That means that they need to take 3 knockouts. We only need to take 2. So we can use Altered Creation. They knock the ADP out at some point in the game. Doesn't matter when. We can go in with Zacians, which will be guaranteed to be powered up because of Catwalk. We can get whatever 2 cards we need. And usually with ADP Zacian, you'll have enough cards in your hand to deal with any of these problems. But another card that's been included in this list, just in case you don't have access to those cards, is Oricorio. And the combination of Oricorio and Persian is really potent. You can Oricorio for 3, look at your hand, it'll normally be pretty big. Just imagine like you've researched, you have Oricorio, that's 10 cards. If you haven't got what you need, you can Persian for the extra 2 that you need to do whatever it is that you can to take as many knockouts as possible. I really like this style of deck. I think it's really powerful. A couple of things. There are a few cards that we've got shorter counts on. We've got less options with because we obviously try and fit in the ADP. There's no way to deal with things like Decidueye other than hoping that Mawile can pull things out of the hand. There's no techs and things like that to do with those attackers. We have a less energy switch, so Going second, it's less likely we're going to be able to get the Altered Creation off on turn 1. But again, it's not a big problem. We've got Persian, we just set that up. There's less consistency cards in the deck. We're not playing things like, I don't know, we're not playing turbo patches to accelerate more energy. We're not playing extra gust options, those kind of things. We're not required to have them. We don't have 3 Dedenne and 2 Crobat like some ADP lists have. It is much more structured around trying to get as much value out of your attackers as possible. And when your opponent has to take 3 knockouts whilst you only have to do 2, then you have a really, really good chance to go on to win the game. So anyway, I'm repeating myself a little bit too much. I'm going to jump across onto PTCGO now and show off this deck in action. Hopefully we can get a couple of games. In all likelihood, we will just see ADP Zacian play out. But I'm going to try and get a game, at least one, where the Persian comes in clutch and gives us an opportunity win when otherwise we wouldn't have been able to. Alright, let's start our run off here. I'll probably play a few games with this one, because I mean, you've seen ADP Zacian before, and to be honest, you're going to see a lot of it. If you're playing in the Players' Cup, then this deck will be around, so make sure you are aware of it. We have 3 Pokemon to start off with that I don't want to start with. Oricorio, Eldegoss, and Dedenne. Oricorio, I think, is the best one here, just because we can't use the effects of the other 2. And looks like we're going up against a metal deck. This is either ADP Zacian or a Luca metal deck. They're giving me the little sad heart here, so we'll see what happens. Dedenne in the active. That's a bit disappointing. What we've got here, though, is the perfect opening hand. We can Cherish Ball, go through. I think I've got to grab an ADP here. Then I can play that down. I can Quick Ball. I can play Viridian Forest. Let's get rid of the Eldegoss. We don't really need that. Grab the Water Energy. I think that's probably the right thing to do. We'll be able to Quick Ball for Zacian here. I think the Vitality Band goes in the bin. That's the least useful card that we have here. Did I just click Done? I'm an idiot. I just clicked Done. Oh well, that's okay. Crushing Hammer. That's going to be very bad if this flips heads. Tails, cool, no worries. And Amani. Yeah, no, I don't know why I didn't Quick Ball there. You know when you're just in, like, you're in a zone, you're like, I've attached the energy, and then I just click Done. I don't get it. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. This is the type of deck where it doesn't really matter as long as everything goes to plan. We are playing ADP as well, so they could potentially get their GX attack off here, and that would be very, very frustrating. A big charm coming down for them. I'd like to see like a Quick Ball, Cherish Ball, Research, something like that off of the top. That would be fantastic. We have Spinner and Energy and Metal Saucer and Zacian and stuff. We had a bunch of things. I would have much preferred it, though, if we had a Zacian on the field already, but that's alright. We can't have it all. Sometimes I just make dumb errors and just click Done when I'm not done. I wasn't done. That's something that... This is one thing that always happens on PTCGO that I'm not a big fan of. It happens all the time to me specifically because we just got sacked so hard. We just sacked so hard to grab that air balloon. Okay, so my poor performance has not been punished yet. It will be punished soon, though, I'm sure. Let's get rid of a Metal Energy with Viridian Forest or find another one. I will attach with Metal Saucer. Put that on the Zacian. I've got an attachment on the ADP. I can retreat and then GX. As I was saying, in real life, if I'm playing a real life game of Pokemon cards, there's no done button for me to click and then it's irreversibly not my turn anymore. So if I'm holding the Quick Ball in my hand, I can see it, it's in my hand. I can go, should I play this Quick Ball? Yes, and play it. Alright? It's not like I go, should I play this Quick Ball whilst I'm doing other things and then just click Done accidentally and whoops. Oh well, that's okay. I mean, we're in a perfect position here. All we need to do is just, like, top deck boss, and we win this game. Like, that's the way ADP works, right? It doesn't matter how badly I'm drawing. As long as I take a knockout on this Dedenne with Ultimate Ray, it's fine. It's literally not a problem. So, hopefully, I top deck out of this dead hand. If I don't, it's fine, it's whatever. I'm happy to half hit into this ADP and just accept my fate. I'm not happy to do that, but I'll do it. Oh, boss's orders. They'll probably be bossing up the Zacian here. Okay, so now we've got a different win con. We need something like Energy Sweep. Oh, that Dedenne is handy. I'm gonna attach... that's the Dedenne. That's just the Dedenne. We've got access to energy with Viridian, so it's fine. Okay, so we're not gonna be able to gust this turn. This is not ideal. I will attach... I'll attach to the ADP. I don't know whether I should Mawile 4 cards. Is it worth it? Let's try it. He's probably got like something hiding in his hand. Nothing. Okay, so his hand's dead. He doesn't have access to anything next turn. So as long as I get an attack off, I should be fine. And it looks like we've got one here. We've got a switch. I can switch into the ADP, and this will be perfect because I can get rid of the ADP in my hand with Quick Ball. I can play down a Meowth. Here we go, right? Play down a Meowth. If he does top deck into a Gust, he's going to want to target down one of the GX Pokemon on my bench, and that means that I am set and ready to go to use Persian next turn. So that would be great. We've got a Zacian powered up. I'll put the water energy on the Mawile because of the colourless costing. It's a bit of a risk because I know he's playing hammers. So ADP could have the water energy hammered off, but that's pretty much all that I needed to have done this turn. The worst thing that could possibly happen actually is a hammer and then a pass. Oh, he has a hammer. Oh my god, he didn't have that in his hand last turn, did he? Oh, and he flipped heads as well. Okay. And exactly what I thought happened would happen. Cool. Excellent news. On the plus side, though, I think he has to hit into me. I don't think there's a world where he can do anything other than just attach and attack into ADP. And it looks like he's gearing up to try and do that. A Metal Energy being sought out from the deck, attached to the ADP. And I think we're just going to see an Ultimate Ray here. This means that I can then retreat manually into Zacian to take a knockout. It is not ideal, but it is better than nothing. Just waiting to see where the energy goes here. I'll probably see one energy go to both of these Pokemon. There's one on the Crobat. Two on the Crobat. Okay, that's very interesting. Oh, we top decked switch. That's nice. That means, let's think. That means that I probably just switch into Zacian. What do I need to do here? Switch into Zacian, and then I can probably just attack, because I don't need to do anything. I've got boss for game next turn, so let's just move on. Well, this has not been a very entertaining game, but it's shown you that ADP is good, so... and it did have the potential. I could potentially have seen use from Persian that turn. Obviously, the ADP on my opponent's side of the field didn't take a knockout on the Dedenne, but I did have access to the Meowth. So if that had have happened, then I would have been able to show it off. But that's okay. You can set it up as a bit of a set, like a practice setup kind of thing. I don't know, like a contingency is the word that I'm looking for. It's a contingency. Alright, we need to find a switch here. I think that's pretty much all we need to do. We can't Brave Blade. I will boss out the Dedenne. Actually, I'll just pass, whatever. There's no point. I'll just wait a turn. He's not going to do anything anyway. I could have just researched and gone looking for the last switch, but I may as well just sit on this hand. Like, there's no point in doing it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's what I thought. Alright, let's see another one. Hopefully I can maintain this win streak. We are in a second game with ADP Persian. Didn't get to see the Persian in the first game, but it was floating around. It could have come up. We've won the coin flip. We are electing to go first as usual. I've got to get a less creaky chair. And we've got a much better start this time. If only because I have Zacian, which is great. I'll play that down. I'll be able to play down Viridian Forest as well. Get rid of the Metal Energy, do that kind of stuff. That would be brilliant. We're going to need to go looking for an ADP here. We are playing against Charizard VMAX by the looks of things. And this could potentially be an opportunity for an ADP to get knocked out and for us to show off how the Persian works. We'll see. We will see. Alas, there was no Arceus Dialga Palkia. That is unfortunate. But we get a Dedenne off the Mawile. It's got no support other than that. Okay, this is really good for us. I'm going to attach to the Mawile because I'm just very aware, even though my opponent has nothing, I'm very aware that something could go horrifically wrong here. We've found another Saucer off of the Intrepid Sword and a Persian. So we're still in for a shot to use the GX attack at the end of this turn, but we might potentially value just taking a knockout more, especially if they go into the VMAX. We might be able to steal ourselves the march in this game, but there was nothing doing here. Got a quick ball, which is good. I can get rid of this second research. Now we can find the ADP. I think I probably should commit to playing for the GX attack here. We'll use Metal Saucer, we'll get these energies into play. There are 2 of them there. I may as well bring them all back, and then I will research. I'm going to go looking for an energy switch, and we've found one. We don't have access to a way to retreat just yet, unless, I mean, I could potentially energy switch one from the Mawile to the Zacian in the active, and then another to the ADP. I could just take a knockout as well, but I think it's better to just retreat here. I know I've already used 2 metal sources, but this GX attack is quite important, and I will grab the Meowth, because you never know. You never know, I could get knocked out by the Charizard. I've got Cherish Ball in hand. That is all that we need to start dealing some real damage with that Persian. By getting ourselves set up, that would be fantastic. Here's a VMAX. They need Welder, double energy, and triple acceleration energy for them to be able to deal their attack, but they will get a knockout if they are able to do that, so we will wait and see. There's a manual attachment and just a pass. That's very upsetting. We can, what can we do here? We can attach to the ADP. I'll put this Vitality Band down, I guess. And then let's go for a Dedenne. We're going to try and get ourselves a boss here so we can take 3 prizes. That would be fantastic. There is the boss, so we can bring the Dedenne up. We'll be able to knock that Dedenne out with Ultimate Ray, and we are still hovering with that Persian. We could potentially see some use from it. Unfortunately, though, there are no more energies in the deck, so hopefully we find one off of the prizes. 3 cards off of the prizes. Is one of them an energy? It is not, but that's okay. Alright, so now we are in a position where they can very easily get a knockout on the ADP. If they do, then we have potential access to Persian. I've got air balloons, I've got switches, so it doesn't matter if they gust something up. The worst case scenario, I suppose, is if they do gust up the Zacian. It does not look like they're going to be able to get the knockout, though, and that's really upsetting, because I wanted them to get the knockout. And they've conceded. Well, again, another opportunity. We'll try again. Alright, let's see if we can't get Persian to work. I've played a few more games in between. I'm on a 4-game winning streak with ADP. It's a pretty good deck, turns out. But I want to get Persian to work. So let's see if we can get going here. We won the coin flip again, which is fantastic. Okay. This is a perfect situation for Persian to work, because we have absolutely nothing other than ADP and a Meowth. So this is... Oh my god, that was really bad. Well, we've got the attachment. That's fine. We'll play down the Meowth, and we will pass. Playing Eternatus, so I know I'm not getting knocked out this turn, but there is a really good chance that we get knocked out next turn after we GX. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a very good chance of us GXing, so there's a good chance that you may not see this video. But hey, it's fine. We will see. Peers from our opponents. I'll grab a Dark-type Pokemon and an Energy. Probably grab something like Capture and Eternatus VMAX. So doesn't look like a particularly strong hand from our opponent either, unless of course they already have a ton of cards ready to play down, and they just want to have the VMAX in hand for next turn. Capture Energy here will grab themselves another basic Pokemon. Might see another Eternatus, another Hooper. There we go. That's good. We're seeing lots of different basic attackers in these decks. I've seen Derail, Yveltal, I've seen Spiritomb as well, so there's lots of stuff floating around. It looks like this deck is the type that's going to be using Dark City to retreat, which I am fine with. So Okay, we're thinning for a Crobat here. That's the only explanation as to why this has just happened. Quick Ball. Okay, this makes a lot more sense now. Get rid of a Marnie and a Crobat coming down, so it's going to be a minimum of 4 cards off of that Crobat. We know one of their previous 2 cards was Eternatus as well, and we're seeing a Power Accelerator, but no energy. Okay. Oh, okay, well the game will continue. I've got a Viridian, so I can GX. I've absolutely lucked my way into the GX attack here, but I think we are very, very likely to see a knockout on this ADP this turn. I'll bring out the Crobat just because it's going to be tough for our opponent to retreat it, unless they have another Stadium. If it's the deck that I think that it is, then it'll be playing Hide Darkness as a retreat option and the Stadium, and they only run 3 at the Stadium at most. So hopefully we have a chance to deal with that, but if not, it's okay. There is a Dark City, okay, so they are going to be able to get an attack off with an Eternatus VMAX this turn. They have the VMAX in hand. We know they've got it. It's just a matter of whether they can lay enough basics out on their bench to get themselves going here. If they can, then we're going to be hoping for another top deck. It'll be the 3rd top deck in a row, I think. Getting the Sableye going here to grab another Crobat. That means the last 2 cards in hand aren't Pokemon, or they are Pokemon that they don't want to use. Scoop Up Net to get rid of the Hooper, and they'll put the Hooper back. And then a Crobat for 5. Another Eternatus VMAX into play now, and a Great Ball. Because of the damage already done to this ADP, all that they will need is a Zigzagoon Ping, which they've got, and then one other Pokemon, I think, will do the job to get a knockout. And the last couple of cards, they have a Professor's Research as well. That is unfortunate, but I mean, they had the Quick Ball in hand anyway. So, we are definitely getting knocked out this turn. If ever there was a game for Persian to show up at the last minute, this is it. This is it. I did the maths wrong, I think. But it looks like they've just got infinity scoop-up nets anyway. They're just going to fix the maths themselves. They're not doing 210. Surely not. That's the hard way for them to get a knockout. I miscalced. I thought they needed 1 less Pokemon than they did. But to get the knockout like that is obnoxious. So I'm glad that I caught that on camera. Here we go. Let's get Persian. A Crobat. That's acceptable. I can live with that. Air Balloon on the active. We'll Crobat before and see what we get. We've got a Zacian and a Cherish Ball and the Dedenne. This is perfect. Okay. So, grab the Persian. Perfect. And play that down. We've got access to Metal Saucer, which is good. We can put an energy onto that Zacian. Then we did Dedenne. We could even find Oricorio here, which would be excellent. No Oricorio, but that's okay. Let's have a think. What do I need to do to win this game? I need to accelerate another energy to a Zacian and attach. So, we're going to Spinner. We're going to grab another energy. I will discard, or attach 1 to the Zacian. I'm going to need to discard 1, I think. Because I need to get an energy in the discard pile so that I can use Metal Saucer. So, I think the best play here is Metal Saucer and Boss off of the Catwalk. So let's try doing this. We can grab... There we go. Metal Saucer and a Boss. We've got plenty of energy. This is okay. I need to get pretty lucky off of the prizes, though, I think. I think this is the key now. I need to get lucky off of the prizes. Because if the prizes aren't kind to me, then I will find myself in an awkward situation, to say the very least. But Persian has paid for itself already. We've got ourselves a knockout on the Crobat. Our opponent cannot win the game this turn. They can't do it. They can get a couple of prizes on a Zacian. As long as we get something decent off of the prizes here, we've got a chance. Cherish Ball. That's decent. That's a Dedenne. Okay. So, the next turn coming up, we won't have access to Persian. So we're going to need to draw off of Dedenne and, well, I mean, I would say Oricorio, but I don't think that was in the deck. But If we can do it, right, we need double Saucer Energy Attachment Gust. But we can still win the game, and we started with nothing. Absolutely nothing. So we have a shot. Let's see whether we can get it here. We've got an opportunity. How stupid is this? That we could still potentially win the game after doing nothing for 2 turns. We've got a Cherish Ball. We've got Dedenne. We don't even need... Oh, we don't even need... Okay. So all we need 1 Metal Saucer and a Mawile and a Gust. I don't think that's enough. I don't think that's enough. Yeah, because we don't have Oricorio, so we can't draw more cards. We can get Eldegoss to grab the Gust, but then we don't have an attacker. We can grab Mawile to be the attacker, but then we don't have the Gust. So we may as well just grab the Mawile. You never know. Something dumb might happen. Maybe I miscalculated the amount of energy that we need. I need to actually have the Mawile in play first, because that's so disappointing, because we were... Oh. But that's the thing, right? Because of Persian, we were 1 card off winning this game. It was just frankly stupid that this was an opportunity. Just dumb. Anyway, we have an attack with Mawile. If we'd found a boss... If we had found a boss, we would have won. Wily Bite will only do 290 damage. Well played to our opponent. I think that's proof. That's proof in the pudding right there that Persian is good, because I had no right to win that game, and with any other version of ADP, I wouldn't have. But I got very, very close. So there you have it. Persian can make a big, big difference in these ADP Zacian decks. I think that it's probably the safest way to play the deck for the Players' Cup, but there are obviously some risks associated with it. You will probably find it quite difficult to beat other ADP lists, but then again, you've got access to Persian, so it's not impossible. And you just got to make sure that you get yourself set up as well as possible. Thank you very much for coming along and watching this one. Hopefully, you've gotten a decent idea as to how Persian's supposed to work. I can't believe that Oricorio was prized. If only it wasn't, we could have had a shot, but doesn't matter. Thank you for coming along. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video, that would be fantastic. We're getting so much support over the last couple of days. Thank you, everyone, for that. Watch the stuff that's over here. Watch the stuff that's down here. Otherwise, thank you for coming along, and I'll see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye.